of a blade.
Kicking off our countdown is the jaw-dropping, adrenaline-fueled masterpiece, Mad Max Fury Road. In a stark desert wasteland where humanity is broken, a tyrannical warlord named Immortan Joe enslaves his people. A drifter named Max Rockatansky gets swept up in an escape when an elite imperator, Furiosa, flees with the warlord's 5 enslaved wives. What follows is a relentless and spectacular road war across the desolate landscape of the post-apocalyptic world. This film is essentially one long, breathtaking chase sequence, filled with some of the most incredible practical stunts and action ever filmed. Director George Miller's vision is wildly imaginative, visceral, and operatic in its execution. It is a cinematic triumph and the undisputed king of the post-apocalyptic genre. A classic. At number 8 is the powerful blockbuster, I Am Legend. Years after a virus wiped out most of humanity and turned the rest into nocturnal mutants, U.S. Army virologist Robert Neville is the last human survivor in New York City. By day, he scavenges for supplies with his dog and desperately works on a cure in his basement lab. By night, he barricades himself in his fortified home, hiding from the vampiric creatures known as Darkseekers, who rule the darkness. Will Smith delivers a tour-de-force performance, brilliantly portraying the profound loneliness and psychological toll of being the last man on Earth. The haunting visuals of an empty, overgrown New York City are iconic and unforgettable. It is a compelling and action-packed story of survival, hope, and the meaning of humanity. At number 7 is the brilliant and brutal sci-fi allegory, Snowpiercer. In a future where a failed climate change experiment has killed all life, the last remnants of humanity circle the globe on a perpetually moving train. The wealthy elites live in opulent luxury at the front, while the impoverished masses are forced to survive in squalor in the tail section. A rigid and cruel class system is brutally enforced to maintain this fragile order. The story follows a tail section resident who leads a violent and bloody revolution to seize control of the train's engine. From director Bong Joon-ho, this is a masterful and thought-provoking film that is both a thrilling action movie and a sharp social commentary. It is a unique, stylish, and unforgettable cinematic experience. At number 6 is the highly anticipated new chapter, 28 years later. This film is set to continue the story that began with the groundbreaking 28 Days Later, which introduced the terrifying Rage virus. The original film followed a man who wakes from a coma to find London completely deserted after the virus turned most of the population into fast-moving killers. Its sequel, 28 Weeks Later, showed a failed attempt to repopulate Great Britain after the initial outbreak was supposedly contained. While specific plot details for this new installment are still emerging, it promises to be a major cinematic event. Reuniting the original director and writer, fans can expect a return to the intense, gritty, and terrifying world that redefined the zombie genre. It is one of the most anticipated post-apocalyptic films in years. At number 5 is the bleak and unflinching adaptation of the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Road. Set in a desolate, ash-covered America years after an unspecified cataclysm, the film follows a father and his young son. They journey south toward the coast, hoping to find a warmer, more hospitable climate to survive the coming winter. They must navigate a cold, gray world where starvation and the constant threat of cannibalistic gangs are a daily reality. This is a profoundly moving and emotionally devastating story about the bond between a parent and child. It is a powerful and haunting exploration of finding hope, and carrying the fire of humanity in the darkest of times. The film is a tough but ultimately unforgettable masterpiece that will stay with you long after it's over. Number 4 is the globe-trotting zombie epic World War Z. A mysterious virus rapidly spreads across the globe, turning people into fast-moving, swarming zombies that topple entire nations in a matter of days. Former UN investigator Jerry Lane is pulled out of retirement and called back into service to help find the source of the pandemic. His mission is a desperate race against time across the world to find a weakness in the horde and save humanity from total extinction. This film delivers a truly massive sense of scale, with jaw-dropping sequences of zombie hordes overwhelming cities. It successfully transforms the zombie genre into a high-stakes global disaster movie that feels terrifyingly real. It is a relentless and action-packed thriller that never lets up from its explosive opening to its tense finale. At number 3 is the terrifying thriller that became a cultural phenomenon, Bird Box. The world is plunged into chaos by mysterious, unseen entities that cause anyone who looks at them to take their own life. The story follows Mallory, who must undertake a perilous journey down a treacherous river with 2 young children to reach a place of supposed safety. To survive this harrowing trip, they must navigate the entire journey completely blindfolded, relying only on sound and instinct. The film masterfully builds suspense by never showing the creatures, letting your imagination create the horror. Sandra Bullock gives a powerful and intense performance as a mother determined to protect her children at all costs. It's a nerve-shredding thriller that explores themes of motherhood, trust, and survival against an unknowable threat. At number 2 is a surprisingly charming and heartfelt take on the end of the world, love and monsters. After a monster apocalypse forced the last of humanity into underground bunkers, a young man named Joel Dawson decides to risk it all. He embarks on a dangerous 85-mile journey across the monster-infested surface to reunite with his high school girlfriend. He is completely unprepared for this quest and must learn to survive with the help of a very good dog and other seasoned survivors. It's a wonderfully creative adventure that balances genuine scares with humor and a lot of heart. The creature designs are fantastic, and Dylan O'Brien's performance is incredibly endearing. This is a fun and refreshingly optimistic story about finding courage and connection in a ruined world. And our top pick is a film with a truly unique vision of the future, Mortal Engines. Hundreds of years after a cataclysmic event destroyed civilization, London is now a giant, mobile predator city that roams the earth on massive wheels. This traction city survives by consuming smaller towns for their resources in a brutal system known as municipal Darwinism. The story follows Hester Shaw, a mysterious woman with a personal vendetta against London's powerful leader, Thaddeus Valentine. This film is a visually spectacular steampunk epic with incredible world building and production design. The sheer scale of the mobile cities makes for a truly unique and breathtaking cinematic experience. It's a grand, imaginative adventure that is our number 1 pick for the list.